Guys, welcome to another show of East to West. Man, am I glad you guys are tuning in on this wonderful night, this late summer, early fallish night. Hey, I hope you guys had a great weekend and that you got to hang out with friends and family and loved ones and got to grill out, cook out, smoke out, whatever, and just to enjoy life together. So anyway, today I just want to start again talking about this concept that seems to in our world has become very, very elusive and very, very frustrating. This concept that we can really, really be a community and that we can really love each other no matter what, and that we can walk through this world, hand in hand with all of our differences, and that we were all inherently born into this grand notion that we are all equal and on the same playing field. I know life right now doesn't feel that way for many people. Many of my friends are struggling with how to work through this storm of inequality and racial injustice that's going on in this world, and wondering if this concept of love is really real for them. I mean, are they, sometimes I just feel like they're just tolerated, and it just makes me sad to think that it's just rough. I mean, there's millions and millions of people, just even in our own nation, who feel marginalized, who feel like they don't count, like their voices don't matter, and it's like they feel like they have to resort to anger to be heard, which is sad. So to kind of sum up today's show, I want to share a story that I heard a long time ago. And it really kind of, for me personally, kind of helped bring home this concept of that when you buy into this thing, when you buy into this notion that we're all equal, and you realize that the price was paid for a long time ago, and that the moment you are born into this world, you're on an equal playing field. It doesn't matter. It's all in the purchase of the ticket of you being born. And so I heard the story about this older gentleman who didn't have much, but wanted to go see the new world. Wanted to just hear about this land of opportunity, freedom, just abundance. He just wanted to go see what everybody was talking about, but he didn't have any money. So he spent months and months saving up to buy a ticket. So he buys a ticket, and the day comes to get on the ship, and he goes to his room, and the room is extraordinary for him. The ship is beautiful. He watches the ship leave, just marvels at the vastness of the ocean. And so at this time, the trip took 3 weeks to get to America. 3 weeks. So in saving money for this trip, he didn't have enough money to really store up any food for the trip. I mean, he just had a meager little sack of crackers and cheese. So every day he would ration it. And he would go for a walk, and he would walk by the grand dining room, and he would see everybody sitting in there eating and enjoying themselves, wishing he could go in there, wishing his ticket was good enough to get him into the dining room. And so for 3 weeks, this just went on every day. He would ration his crackers, he would ration his cheese. He just kept thinking of getting to the promised land. And the day came that the ship docked in America, and the captain was there greeting everybody, And this is probably going to make me cry because it made me cry the first time I heard it. And the captain was saying goodbye to everybody and wishing them well. And so the old man approached the captain to say his goodbyes. And the captain was like, we missed you. We missed you at dinner. And he goes, what do you mean? He said, the captain says, we missed you at dinner. And the older gentleman said, yeah, I didn't have enough money to buy dinner. And so the captain said, what did you do all this time? And he said, well, I didn't think that I could go into the dining room, so I just rationed myself with a package of crackers and some cheese. And the captain says, you ate crackers and cheese this entire trip? And the guy says, yeah, that's all I thought I could. That's all I thought I could afford. And the captain just started crying and sobbing and said, man, there was a place at the table for you this whole time because the dinner was included in the price of your ticket. And so this gentleman for 3 weeks just felt like he wasn't good enough or hadn't paid enough to be able to go and enjoy dinner with the other passengers on this ship. And so it was just a huge just sadness came over this guy. And I think that's how many people feel in this world, is that, yeah, they have a ticket to get into the world, but they don't feel like they have, permission to sit at the table with other people. God clearly talks about a table in the Bible. He talks about a banquet table where there will be people of all nations, tongues, and tribes that will be feasting at this table. And sometimes I think that gets lost here when we think that we're not good enough to sit at that table, or that we make somebody else feel like they're not good enough to sit at this table. And for me, I'm going to tell you, the price of the dinner banquet is included in the price of the ticket when you were born. When you entered this world, God gave you admission to everything. Everything. I don't care what the world says. I don't care what people out there say. I don't care what you've been told over and over and over again. The God that made you, the God that knitted you, the God that loves you, gave you admission to the banquet table. And you don't need to ask. You don't need to double check your ticket. You don't need to ask, what table am I sitting at? You don't need to ask for anything. The God of all creations is standing at the table waiting to pull that chair out for you and to say, you're equal to me, no matter what. That's how God's love is. I heard another story of a woman who lived next to another family who seemed to always need things. They didn't have a lot, but they just were always asking. And so one day, the mother goes next door and asks them for a small amount of salt, just a little bit, probably just a pinch, because the family probably didn't have much, but she just asked for a pinch. And when she came back, the son said, Mom, why did you ask them for salt? We have plenty of salt. And she goes, I went there because I wanted them to feel like, even though they felt like they had nothing, they still have something to offer. And that's the way we got to look at each other. We got to stop looking at each other like they've got nothing to give. Like there's nothing that they can offer to make this world or this life or my situation or even my life better. We got to stop thinking that way. My buddy Justin preached Sunday. He says, when God puts somebody in your way, it's not to annoy you. It's not to annoy you. It's to allow you to show them to Jesus and to show them the creation that Jesus made them. Beautiful, holy, righteous, pure. I mean, it's just fantastic. I mean, I know another story of, there's a thing in New York where people who battle depression, and it's just kind of a therapeutic thing that they do. So this guy who's an artist will work with these guys, and then he will go seek out their friends, and he'll have their friends draw how they picture the person with depression. And so these guys draw these magnificent paintings of their friends, and just beautiful, smiling, laughing, joyful, beautiful. And then the artist will bring in the person who's struggling with depression, who thinks that they're not beautiful, who thinks that they're not worthy, who thinks that life has nothing better to offer them than what they're in right now. And so he one by one starts revealing all these paintings and drawings of their individuals' friends, and they begin to see from their eyes how beautiful they think this person is. And I'm telling you, it's life-changing. It's shattering. These guys start to, these people start to realize, I may think that I'm not worthy. I may think that I'm not good enough. The world may have told me that I'm not good enough, but I am. And it's just amazing, because it's just these people just they just don't have words to explain the emotions they're going through, because it's just like, for the first time probably in a very long time, somebody has shown them their true self. And it's just crazy. I love it. I just love those kind of stories. I just love stories of hearing people going back and seeking people out and searching out people. It's just crazy. It's just like a community comes together. It just makes me sad that it has to take a tragedy to get us to realize that we're a community. 9/11, perfect example. People came together. The tsunami, people came together. When we have tragic life events, we seem to come together. I just wish we could hold on to that and keep it going. The pandemic, boy, if this has not made us realize how connected we want to be, and how social we are, and how we like to interact. Oh my goodness. And what I hope we get out of this when the pandemic comes, and man, we got to set all this other stuff aside, because look how quickly it can be taken away. I mean, look at how quickly life changed on March 20th. On March 20th, where I'm at, everything shut down. Everything. Restaurants, bars, schools, everything shut down. Go home. Stay in your homes. Stay isolated. Stay away. That was the phrase for months. Stay away. Stay home. No interaction. Interact on the internet. This was the closest I got to anybody for a while. The internet. My wife worked from home for months. Worked from home. And it was just like that. It wasn't a process. It wasn't a gradual thing. It was an overnight reversal of what life was, of our normal life. And now, when we get through with this pandemic, and we will, And when we get back together, I hope the new normal is, man, I missed you so much that nothing is going to ever separate us again. We're going to be, oh my gosh. If they could take a satellite picture of the earth and just see a mass of people just coming together of all creeds, races, religions, denominations, political views, just coming together and saying, you know what? We got to make sure this doesn't happen again. And we got to make sure that racial injustice doesn't happen ever again. I mean, that is just destroying the fabric of our country. I mean, it's just ripping at the seams. I picture the veil when Jesus died in the temple. This massive veil that was hundreds and hundreds of pounds that only one person could go in once a year. Only one person could go behind the veil. One person. And because one person died, the veil was torn. And because so many of my brothers and sisters out there, and yes, they are family to me. Everybody is family to me. We are family. We're a planetary family. It doesn't matter what region of the world we're born in. We're all humans. And we're all family. The fabric of our world is being ripped violently. It's not a slow, gradual rip. It's violently pulling us apart. I mean, Israel experienced that over and over and over again in their lives. I mean, when they started to walk away from God and they started to treat people horribly, I mean, they would be conquered. God would say, okay, you know. I just love it in the Bible when Jesus talks to people that nobody would normally talk to. That's me. I just love going on and talking to those guys who feel like they don't have anybody. Because they're going to have somebody. They're going to have one guy. They're going to know that one guy, at least one guy in their life during their day is thinking about them. And is going to say hi to them when he sees them. I seek those guys out. Because those guys are the ones that need to know that they are the image bearers of Christ. You know, that just because they feel marginalized and just because they feel set apart doesn't make them any less equal than they were already. You know, it's like we're trying to bring people up to the level of other people. And in my heart of hearts, we're already there. We just got to believe in it and claim that and stop letting the world say, hey, it's like this, you know. Try to catch up. Work harder to catch up. Come on, you can do it. Oh, you're almost there. Almost there. We almost have equality. Oh, we almost have... No, it's always been there. It's always been there. It's been hand in hand. I mean, God created the world to be equal, in equal space. You know, he just, that's just the way he does it. And I like, one of the best stories that I like is when he goes and talks to the Samaritan woman. I mean, she's got 2 strikes against her back in those days. She's Samaritan and she's a woman. And all they were supposed to do is take care of the children, fetch the water, take care of the food, not have any status, not have any say, don't have a voice, don't have anything. Sound familiar to today? How many times do we tell people you don't have a voice? You don't have a status? You don't have a place in this world? You don't have anything. You know, we prescribe to them what their life is to be, and that's not right. So this woman grew up thinking she had nothing. Well, not even worthy to be talked to. You know, they probably didn't really say much. I mean, they just did their thing, lived their lives, and went on. But here's this woman sitting at the well, and Jesus is coming back to Jerusalem. And most times people will be like, oh, Samaria? Oh, those neighborhoods? Oh, let's go all the way around town and then back up, spend an extra hour so we don't have to go through Samaria or that neighborhood. We don't want to go over there. We don't want to drive by those people. But Jesus made a beeline for Samaria, and his disciples were like, whoa, what are you doing, Jesus? We don't go over there. That's Samaria. We don't go over there. We don't hang out with those guys. We don't hang out with them. And Jesus says, I'm going over there. Jesus didn't let the ridicule of the world stop him from going where he knew he needed to be. And so here he is, he's going, and I can just imagine the disciples going, check your shoulders, look over your shoulders, ain't no good people over here. This is Samaria, don't you know? There ain't no good people over here. They're all bad. And so I can imagine going through all that, and then they're walking through town, and their eyes are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and then all of a sudden, they look over and they say, Jesus, where are you going now? What? You going to the well? There's a Samaritan woman over there. What are you going to the well for? And what really probably blew their minds, and this is just Chuck theology, is when he sat down and asked her for a question. And they're like, what is this guy up to? Really? Now, hopefully at this moment, the disciples are realizing that, hey, something wonderful here is about to happen. And so he starts talking to the Samaritan woman, and she's probably like, the disciples, why are you talking to me? And can I help you? And he says, I'm thirsty, can I get a drink? And he starts talking to her. And he starts telling her things. And I'm sure he's not telling her things in a condescending way. He's telling her things just to talk. Just to have a conversation. I don't know if any of you guys, how many of you out there have seen the show The Chosen? I like it because it shows two of my favorite stories in the Bible. The leper on the road, who once again, here's this guy who probably caught leprosy not of his own fault. Leprosy was rampant back then. I mean, you could just walk by somebody and get leprosy. I mean, it was just that rampant. I mean, we think COVID is contagious or spreadable. Imagine having leprosy 2,000 years ago and having no doctor, no treatment, no nothing. You get it, they throw you out in the caves. And that's where you die. That's where you go to die. You don't go to the caves to get better. They sent you to the caves to die. And then, so here's this leper guy giving everything that he had, risking his life. Because being caught outside of the caves back then and trying to go through town and walking down the road is probably unheard of. And so here's Jesus walking down this path, and all of a sudden his disciples are like, oh my God, it's a guy with leprosy. Ah! So the disciples are looking at it in a worldly view, like, oh my gosh, we see this guy, and our automatic response is to run. Jesus didn't run. Jesus walked over to him, and they're like, Jesus, don't go to that guy. Don't touch him. You're going to get sick. Now here's the craziness about it all. Jesus had healed people by this point. Jesus had done some crazy, cool things at this point. I don't think Jesus is going to get sick. And the disciples just, it's like these guys walking with Jesus couldn't go to that point and say, he ain't going to get sick. Something wonderful is going to happen. Their response was, don't go near that guy. And so as Jesus goes to him, this guy bows down onto the road and says, Lord, I am unworthy. But I know if you're willing, you can heal me. And what the greatest part of this scene was for me was that when Jesus looked down, he bent down and looked in the leper's eyes. He didn't stand there and go, I am willing. He got down to where this leper was and said, I am willing. I am willing. And because of that, this guy was healed. And our nation needs to get healed. And we need to get down and look at our broken brothers and sisters and say, I am willing. I am willing to see you for you. I am willing to see you the same as me. I am willing to love you unconditionally. I am willing. We need to, as a nation, wrap our arms around these guys that are marginalized, beat down, killed. We need to wrap our arms around the community and say, we are willing. We are willing. Whatever it takes, we're willing. And those three words, I think, can begin a wonderful moment. Because out of those three words, Jesus said, I am willing, came a moment that not only changed the lepers' lives, it changed the disciples' lives. And I'm sure I'm sure Jesus, it thrilled his soul to be able to look down in his creation that the world has said, you're no good. You're terrible. Go away. Because of what you are, or because of what you have, or because of what your skin color is, you're no good. And for God to be able to restore that in this leper man's life, and to have him realize that the brutality was only on the outside, I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing to me. I will always love that story. I hope one day when I get to heaven, I get to meet the leper guy. I hope I get to meet that guy. I want to ask that guy, what was it like when Jesus told you, I am willing? I mean, what was that like? I mean, what did you experience? And I just want to know that. So as we wrap up today, I just want to again just say, man, let's just go out and love people. It's easy. It's easy. It's easy to love people. It takes too much work to hate people. Just go out and find somebody who's struggling, who feels marginalized, who feels left out, who feels like they're a leper walking on the road looking for a savior. You know, like Justin said this weekend, you know, when we know where Jesus is, we don't need to go find a seat. We need to go find a friend. So this week, we know where Jesus is. You know where Jesus is. So if there's somebody out there that's been on your heart, or that you know, or that you've been like, man, I just really wish I could go talk to that guy. Go talk to him. Take him to Jesus. Show them Jesus in your words and your action. Let's start building this community, you know, one person at a time. You know, let's do it. You know, it's like when there's a satellite picture on the earth, all you see is the earth. You don't see the individual people walking around. All you see is this one community called Earth. And we just need to get back to that. And we need to get back to this concept that love really does win. I mean, Jesus wins. We know that. We know that his love is ultimately going to conquer. And until he physically conquers, we need to physically conquer in his love for others in their times of need and in their times of trial. So just again, I love you here. God loves you. And we will see you again next week. Thanks for tuning in. Like I said, if you there's just somebody this week you need to talk to, go out, find them, show them to Jesus, and sit down together and let Jesus work in both of you. Amen. Love you guys.